Okay, hey, and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am your Friday's host, Dia, aka ORI'S, OASIS, and this week we're talking about selling your magical practices. Now, this is a topic that has been done to death, revived, killed again, brought back through some type of magical spell, used as a voodoo doll, used as a puppet, put back to death, put back in the grave, dug up again, rolled over in the grave, put back in the grave, then we're digging it back up once again. That's how I feel about this topic, honestly, as far as selling magical services. But you know, everybody has their own perspective on it, and I think it's a topic that will always be talked about until the end of time, because nobody's ever going to come into full agreement on whether you should sell it or whether you should not sell it, because when it comes to your magical practice, your magical services, your spiritual practice, that's highly personal to you. So whether, I'm sorry, I'm doing everything else but looking at the camera. But when you're, that's highly personal to you. So, you know, no two people are going to agree on that. You have some groups that agree to an extent, you know. Now for me, I look at it as there's 4 different categories, and one category believes that all services, magical services, should be free. There's another group who believe, which the group I fall into, I believe I fall into this group, is that your gift should make a way for you. There's another group who is not really for or against, but they do a lot of free stuff because while it's their gift, it's their calling, they're doing it just for fun. It's not the main way they make money. They're not trying to live off of it. They just want to keep it fun, light, and love, at least in their eyes, and their way to do it is just to do it on the side. So, and then there's the other one, which to me comes from more of a poverty consciousness, and because they cannot afford a certain service, they just jump in a group that says that this should be free. So I'm going to try to touch on all of them. Now, the first group who believes services should be free, they're what most people consider highly spiritual. And, you know, I don't blame them. If that's what you believe, you believe. And that that magical services should be free because it's magic, and supposedly magic is free. I can't go too much into that mindset because my mindset is totally different, so I don't understand. But if that's your mindset, I don't knock you for it. Do you, boo? Now, for me, I come from the mindset that my gift should make a way for me, and that also whatever I do in life, I should be happy doing. So if I believe my gift should, and I don't really believe in donations. And also, let me tell you why. Well, at least I believe in charging for magical services. Why I believe in charging for services, period. You know, I'm not saying that you can't do something for free or that I haven't done stuff for free. But why I personally believe is because my understanding of energy. You know, the law of energy says it's neither created nor destroyed. It just exchanged from one person to the next. And when you understand vibrations, you know, vibrations are exchange. Now, coming from the occult side of it, what I have learned over the years is that when you're doing an energy exchange, and excuse me if you can hear the TV in the background, I'm sorry for that, they're watching a movie. But when you're doing an energy exchange, if you do not state up front what you're willing to pay for this particular energy, or what you're willing to give to get something, then on the back end, the other person who's giving this to you is able to take whatever they want from you because there was no line drawn. So when I say that, when I charge for my services, because, let me back up for a second. Because I do a lot of spiritual readings. And of course, to do a spiritual reading, that takes a lot of spiritual energy. You have to have a lot of energy. You have to have a lot of water in your body. You have to be very, very full of, I want to say moisturized. That ain't the right word. They're very fluid or whatever. Very hydrated and things like that. And also because I do channelings when the spirit allows me to do channelings. And because I do spiritual work, and I've also grown to do spiritual work, remote spiritual work for, and by remote I mean for people that I don't know and that they are not within driving distance, or they are also not always comfortable me seeing them face to face through either Skype or Google Hangout. But because I do that, when it's time for me to go do that spiritual work or go do a spiritual reading or go do a channeling, that energy has to come from somewhere. And if the people who I've done services for, provide those services for, did not state up front, this is what they're willing to give through the prices that I charge, then when I go to do that, I won't purposely do that, but Spirit will automatically draw from those, basically like spiritual accounts in the realm. They will automatically draw from these people. And this is why some people, they'll be happy and all of a sudden they feel so drained. Or, all of a sudden they went to sleep and they wake up and they're still tired, because they don't realize that, all these spiritual connections that you still have with other people, they're drawing from you because there was no line drawn. Now, this is from my own personal belief. Everybody else have different beliefs. 1 second. So, so for me, I charge for 2 reasons. One, because that automatically lets spirits know this is what you're willing to give for the service that I provide, and to take nothing else. And also because I believe my gift should make a way for me. And, realistically, I still have children to raise. I still have bills to pay. I still have things that I want to do or things I want to accomplish. I have materials that I need to get for spiritual work. I have things that need to stay on, things that need to be upgraded or to do my spiritual work. As a reader, I automatically have to have internet. I have to have electricity. I have to have a cell phone. To do readings, I have to have gas money. I have to have a car. I have to have car insurance. I have to make sure my license is up to date. I have to make sure my tags is up to date. These are things I have to have. I have to have cards, and I like to experiment. Experiment with new cards. I don't have to, but the cards, as they get older, I'll end up having to replacing them. I need my stones I need pendulums. This is all the stuff that I need to have. And because I go from place to place to place, even though I don't mind wearing the same outfit, I shouldn't have to. Now, this is just me. I shouldn't have to. I like to look good according to my standards when I go out to do readings, when I do these things, when I'm doing videos, when I'm just doing everyday things. That has to come from somewhere, and I don't believe everything should have to just be a gift. Why not state up front what it is that I'm charging? And to me, that when I state up front, that covers it on a basis that covers the person who's paying for the reading, so that Spirit knows not to touch them because they've already given the energy in the form of money of what they was going to give for the energy that they're receiving, for the information that they're receiving. And also, I get exactly what is needed for me to go and do what's need to be done, or to keep doing what I do, in the manner in which I'm able to do it, and in the best light in which I'm able to do it, and to keep my energies high and keep my energies happy and flowing and healthy. Because also on top of that, there's the health aspect of that. Like I said, you have to stay hydrated, so that's a lot of water. And a lot of times when you're doing a bunch of readings, it's no longer water, it's coconut water. So you need to have, well, at least for me, you need coconut water and things like that. So, I come from that particular background. Now, the other one that I said was, there are those who do it for fun. And those who do it for fun, I personally like them. But most of the people, when they do it for fun, they, I'm not going to say most. I had some people I'm going to take that back, because I had some people who did it for fun, and they were really good at what they do. And that's great. But again, it's a problem, but then it's not a problem. Because on one hand, it's a problem because those who charge, the people go from one person to the next and get different readings. They'll go, well, this person did it for free. Why can't you do it for free? But the reason why it's also not a problem is because most of the people who do that are the ones that fall in the fourth category, who actually have a poverty consciousness. And because they can't afford it, they believe this is supposed to be free. Now, I want to go to that aspect, because when you have a poverty consciousness and you believe something should be given, something should be free, just based off the fact that you can't afford it, one, that stops you from ever affording it because you're putting it in your mindset that you can't afford it. Two, that keeps you in that keeps you in a vibration where you can never receive anything, because in order to receive, you got to give, and it goes both ways. You can't just receive and not give, and you also cannot just give and not receive. So with that, if you're still in a state where you're always trying to receive, you'll notice in your life that things are always being taken. If you're one of those people who's trying to get everything for free, you're also probably one of those people who's always losing stuff. You're probably one of those people somebody's always seems like someone's always getting over on you. You know, you got to change your, and I'm being very realistic. I'm being, you know, I'm not, anybody who knows me, I'm not about that love and light stuff, according to what most people understand. I'm down to earth as you can get. So I'm being totally honest. Normally, when they have that mindset, these are the things that happen. So for those people who have that mindset based off the fact that they just can't, or I would say, I'm not going to say that they can't afford it, because a lot of times, at least from the clients that I have talked to, from some people that I have worked with, who at the times that they couldn't afford my readings, when I gave them ideas of how they could afford or what they could do to afford it, you know, they started saying other things, and come to find out, it's not that they can't afford it, it's that either one, they don't know me enough to value what I do to pay the price that I charge, which is fine. You don't know me. I get that. Or two, you're just misappropriating your money and the reading's not really a priority in your life, because whatever's a priority, you're going to pay for one way or the other. And it normally comes down to, really, when you get deep down to it, comes to those two things. So that's how I feel about most people who say you should, outside of the one group who's actually spiritual and just believe you shouldn't charge. I also look at the flip side who, you know, just don't want to pay. And normally comes down to those two things. And for those people, you know, I really say just work on your mindset, because you have to give to, that's one of the laws, you have to give to receive. But when you're giving, it's while you're giving to receive, you also have to literally state that what you want. You don't just, a lot of people think you just give, and the universe will take care of you. But how is the universe supposed to take care of you if you're not telling the universe what you want? And then with the things that the universe is giving you, now you're ungrateful because that's not what you want, but you didn't state what you want when you sent that energy out there to get something back. But that's going into another realm, a whole other topic in itself, so I'm going to let it go. But that's my feelings on basically selling magical services. I say go for it. I say go for it, and when I say go for it, value yourself, value your services. You know, if you know you're good at what you do, charge accordingly. And those who will vibe with your energy will pay what you're worth. But no one's going to pay you more than what you think you're worth. So again, value who you are, value what you do. Take time to hone your gift first. The only way you can value who you truly are and value your gift is to take time to hone your gift. Take time to study. Again, which is another cost that people don't see. The classes that you take online, it's just like if you're a dentist, you always go back to, if you're a dentist or a hairstylist, it's always some new class or a new way of doing something that you're taking. It's the same thing in the spiritual realm. We take these same classes. We read these same, we read books. We go to workshops. We do all this. That takes time, money, and energy. So, yeah, this video is pretty long. It's probably the longest video I've done for this season yet. But, you know, for selling magical services, I'm all for it. And I say, for those who do sell your magical services, value yourself. Don't let nobody else tell you that your service is not valued. Don't let nobody else dictate what prices you should charge. Charge according to your value, and those that value you in that same light will come to you, because like attracts like, and they will pay for your services. For those who don't believe that, hey, go with the people who don't charge. For those who, you know, don't believe because they can't afford it, work on your mindset, boo. That's what I'm gonna say. So everybody stay blessed to be a blessing. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Tell me how you feel, whether you agree or disagree. I welcome it all. So everybody stay blessed. See you in the next video. Peace.